celebrations that started on a Saturday afternoon in November would still be felt on a Monday night in January. A defensive battle of the ages sets up a rematch only to be played under the biggest lights, meaning nothing less than everything. Now, the rematch of all rematches. Here we go. Game time at the 2012 All-State BCS National Championship. Ranked as the top two teams in the nation, the Crimson Tide and Tigers square off once more. This showdown will have no trilogy. The winner tonight will walk away BCS National Champions. Welcome back again, everybody. We're Kirk Herbstreit. I'm Brett Musburger. A little bit later, we're going to hear from Aaron Andrews, Tom Rinaldi, also down on the sideline. Let's talk a little football, my friend.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
start with the Tigers of LSU.
Well, everybody's been talking about could there possibly be more points scored in this game after their first matchup at 9-6 in overtime with the Tigers winning. I think the big thing is Jordan Jefferson. He's kind of the X factor for LSU tonight. His legs have got to become a big factor for the Tigers. Running the ball to the outside for LSU, trying to get to the edge against that big physical Alabama defense. And then he's got to make some throws on third down to try to keep the football and keep it away from Alabama.
Herbert, we know how good Trent Richardson is, but what must Alabama do tonight to win the rematch?
Well, if you look at Alabama, Trent Richardson is obviously the key, but LSU knows he's the key. They're going to stack the line of scrimmage with probably close to 9 guys more often than not. I think Alabama's going to have to show a willingness to say, A.J. McCarron, you're a first-year starter. We trust you. We believe in you. We're going to make you on 1st and 10 with play action. Try to make some big plays in the pass game. Try to get that defense to soften up, and then go back to Trent Richardson and ride him all the way to the championship and a victory.
So Alabama files out of its locker room here at the Superdome. Nick Saban, who has coached both of these teams to national championships, will lead them out. So the Tide will roll out, and what a great feeling for these young men. And on the other side, Les Miles holding the Tigers back. Now, LSU's turn. Now, Tom Rinaldi is with Coach Saban, so let's go to Tom now.
Thanks a lot, Brent. 44 days since you last played, 65 days since you played then. All the planning and preparation and practice. Why will tonight be different, Nick?
Well, I don't know that it will be different. They're two good football teams. You know, in some ways, it's unique that we have two teams in the same division in the same conference playing in the national championship. But I do think they're the two best teams in the country.
Appreciate it, Nick. Good luck. Let's go over to Aaron Andrews. Aaron?
Tom, thanks. Well, Coach, the city is fired up. The Superdome is electric. What have you told your team about handling all this emotion early tonight?
Get your feet on the ground, get ready to, take it a play at a time. It will make the plays that you came to make. You saw your path, now take it.
All right, thanks so much. Brent.
Thank you, Aaron. Herbie, there is one distinctive check mark for LSU. That's in the kicking game and the special teams, and they get to return the opening kickoff.
No doubt about it. And Tyrann Mathieu tonight will have a lot to do with that as far as trying to create opportunities. You look at the punter and the kicker from LSU and what they did in the first matchup. Brad Wing, Drew Alleman, they were the difference in the game. Not by accident. You go back and think about 07, they won a championship here. In 03, and their crowd had a lot to do with both of those championships against Oklahoma in 03 and Ohio State in 07.
So Cade Foster will put the ball on the tee, and as we get ready, folks, settle back and enjoy the sights and the sounds. The BCS Championship is about to begin. Claiborne, and he is brought down at the 28-yard line. So Jordan Jefferson, who was suspended for games earlier this season, was just coming back in game 1. But because Jarrett Lee threw a couple of interceptions in that game, Herbie, he is now the man for LSU.
There's two things. LSU's had a chance to prepare all this time with Jordan Jefferson knowing he was going to be the starting quarterback, and Alabama's defense has not prepared for Jarrett Lee. They've been getting ready for number 9 and everything he can do with his arms and his legs.
So Michael Ford will get the first series. They'll try to get to the edge, but not on the first play. And there, the linebacking core. Upshaw comes up to make the thumping hit on that. As we take a look now at Ford, the running back, and you can see the key men. Ruben Randall, so pivotal with their game plan here. P.J. Lonergan is back and quickly on the snap. And there is the man, Randall, that they want to go to on the slip screen, and that'll give them 3rd and short.
Ruben Randall's their difference maker on the outside. They feel like if they can get him matched up one-on-one, he can make some big plays for them. One thing that LSU feels that they've got to be able to do against the size and the physicality of Alabama and their linebackers, get the ball out to the edge in a variety of ways.
Kenny Hilliard, the talented freshman, is going to come in at tailback, and he'll bring J.C. Copeland with him as the fullback. This is 3rd and short. Hilliard wants to make sure that he's got the check with Jefferson. Fumble on the snap. Jefferson will have to eat it for a loss. So the first bobble of the game, and it means 3 and out for LSU.
Now it's the first 3rd down of the game. The emotions are high. Jordan Jefferson's got to keep his hands in there a little bit better with Lonergan trying to reach out there to make a big block. The emotions of the game are going to be so big here.
Now here's the key guy that you have talked about for days, Herbie, as Les goes over. Here is Brad Wing from Australia. For 15 years, played Australian rules. Key man back in Tuscaloosa. Over Mays' head again. Mays fields it inside the 10-yard line. What a punter Brad Wing is. One of the best folks that we have ever seen. And Matthew the gunner was down on top of him. So here, Herbie, now is A.J. McCarron.
6'4", 205 pounds. First-year starter taking over for Greg McElroy. Only threw 5 interceptions. He's going to have to make some plays downfield tonight with his receivers, especially Brent on 1st and 10. That's where they're going to have to try to attack LSU's defense through the air.
They opened with Richardson as a ball carry back in November. 17-yard gain. They moved the tight ends over to the left side. Play action, and McCarron's going to roll and dump it off, and that is Smelly. Somebody who figures very prominently for this offensive lineup for the Crimson Tide. A very high percentage throw, and here are the fellows we're going to be watching. Richardson, of course, from Pensacola, Florida. There is Smelly from Tuscaloosa. Hometown young man behind this offensive line. The Outland Trophy winner, Barrett Jones from Germantown, Tennessee. Goes to the Memphis area. He's the big left tackle. And it's 1st down and 10. Play action again. First 2 plays, passes. First 2 to Smelly. And that's to the 29-yard line. And Brandon Taylor with the stop for this very talented defense. A little bit smaller than the Alabama defense up front. But keep an eye on Brockers and Logan. They are the unheralded key. And the linebackers, they like to get 5 and 6 defensive backs out. A big first down puts them in jeopardy. And this may be the best secondary in all of college football. Speed, speed. 2nd down now for the Crimson Tide. Inside handoff, and LSU knew the run was coming sooner rather than later.
Yeah, the first couple calls by Alabama shows you that really what they want to try to do. You have an athletic, aggressive LSU defense that doesn't respect McCarron in the passing game. Therefore, they are flying to Trent Richardson and flying to the running game. Jim McElwain, in the first couple calls, uses some misdirection, rolls McCarron away from that speed, and gets him on the edge where there's nobody out there left over.
They go to the nickel, and Matthew becomes very dangerous when he steps up on the slot receiver. He now edges down at the top of your screen, number 7. Third down, Matthew trying to get in. He's picked up, complete, and it's a first down. That is Williams, the big tight end. Herbie, they did a great job with number 7. He was trying to get in that time, and they were ready for it.
Well, they get creative when they move Matthew to the nickel, but Barrett Jones, the left tackle, picks him up. But what's impressive to me is Michael Williams. The ball's behind him a bit. Tremendous effort there by Williams to fight to be able to, number 1, catch the ball and then get across the first down line to pick up the first down. First downs in this kind of game are big, not just to keep the ball, but to affect field position.
They stay in nickel. You can always tell when Matthew moves up to the slot. That puts Simon at one of the corners. First down and 10. Incomplete. Mays was coming across that time, and Kevin Minter, the middle linebacker, picked him up.
Talked about how on first down they've got to throw the ball. They've had 3 first downs, and they've had 3 passes on those first downs, trying to break tendencies. This time LSU gets a little bit of pressure on McCarron, forces him out of the pocket and to throw the ball before he's ready to.
LSU expects a running play. Francois checks back in off the sideline to give him the extra linebacker. McCarron IDs the middleman, the Mike linebacker. And they were running. And it was read perfectly by John Chavis. He sent the extra linebacker right on the field.
Well, what they're able to do is just look at the personnel groupings. When they see a certain group, and they saw that case, a couple tight ends come into the game, and that's what forced them to be able to put their more base personnel with the 3 linebackers, more physicality to be able to hold up against the run. Still a pretty good gain because it sets up a 3rd and manageable here for Bama.
Here's the defense that Jim McElwain calls the Freaks. 6 defensive backs are on the field now for LSU. Brooks checks in. It is 3rd down and 5. And McCarron hands it off on a running play. Richardson tripped up, can't get the first down. Stopped a yard short on that play.
In a game where field position is going to be so big, tremendous effort by LSU's defense, keeping him short of the first down and forcing the punt here by Alabama. But by Bama picking up the first down, again, they can affect field position here with a solid punt.
They'll set the return. When Matthews goes back deep, that means they want to return against Cody Mandel. Touchdowns in each of LSU's last 2 games returning punts. Arkansas and Georgia in the SEC Championship. Big part of this game right here. Out of bounds, they keep it away from number 7. So we'll take a break. And when you come back, LSU will have the ball again. So if we want to compare punters, Herbie, Wings punt 59 yards, and Alabama's first punt only 33. Beckham is out wide. That's toward the bottom of your screen. They come back with the freshman running back. He is a big boy, and Les Miles has called this big boy football. And when you go against his Alabama defense, Herbie, you are playing against some big boys. Now, Nick Saban likes to get all his pressure up front with 7. Does not like to have 8 in the box if he can avoid it. 2nd down and long. There is that option look that we were expecting, and Jefferson a little bit sloppy.
That is a slow developing play by Jordan Jefferson against Alabama. I understand running the option, get the speed to the edge, challenge the size of the Alabama linebackers. But if you're going to make a run, these safeties and corners are up to run support. You can see Mark Barron early in this game, a big factor defending the run, very physical, and understands his defense as well as anybody. But Jordan Jefferson, when they run option, he's got to attack and use his speed.
So 3rd down and 10, and Spencer Ware in as the running back. This is Ware, well short of the 1st down. Upshaw with the tackle.
And here's an example. Jordan Jefferson, you've got to be able to take your pitch man out of the play. Watch Courtney Upshaw. Not only is he forced to pitch, then he runs down the line and makes the play on Spencer Ware. The quarterback has to take away the pitch man, account for him, and then Ware may have room to be able to get to the edge and be able to pick up a 1st down.
So Mays will go back deep again, and here's that battle. Brad Wing. He can do it rugby style on the move. Straight away like this. Boom it. And Mays will return this from the 25. Comes right up the middle. 40, 45, 50. Mays breaks. Wing is there, and he's out of bounds.
Brent, towards the end of that play, he looked like
he's
he was
hurt.
Yeah, he looked like
he pulled a hamstring or something.
Sure did. And towards the end of that play, he almost just gave up on the play and went out of bounds. And he is a true leader for this team. He played in the first matchup with a sprained ankle. And for his sake, you hope that's just a cramp.
We'll take a break, but before he limped off, Mays gave the Crimson Tide a golden opportunity. There you can see he pulled it up just shy of the 40, and then he steps out of bounds. So when we come back, Alabama will have the ball on LSU's 26-yard line. Picture cam. So Herbie, Alabama with its first golden opportunity. Mays will go back to the locker room after apparently pulling a hamstring. A 49-yard return, and it gives Bama the first golden opportunity of this championship. And on 1st down, McCarron got time, comes in underneath, and a sliding catch at the 10-yard line by Darius Hanks, who must now become the go-to guy.
And let's see if he gets his knee down before he slides out of bounds. Tremendous effort. Looks like that right knee got down. I'm sure they may take another peek at this, but another 1st and 10 pass by Alabama. Breaking tendencies. They know they have to throw the ball against this LSU defense when it's more on when they want to throw, not allowing LSU to dictate when they throw the football.
Constantly shifting tight ends. Offensive coordinator Jim McElwain. From the pistol, Richardson has jumped in the backfield. Big Benny Logan was the first man to hit him.
That loss of Mays at this point, we'll see if he's able to come back. Alabama fans know with Julio Jones leaving and going to the NFL, Mays has become the guy on the outside, not just their best playmaker, but really the leader. You can see his reaction, how emotional he is. The offense with a young quarterback that really relies on him and his leadership. So let's keep an eye on him and his health and whether or not he's able to come back. And you're right, Hanks and Brad Smelly have got to be able to pick up the load in the passing game.
Now they bring 2 tight ends tight to the right side of the formation on 2nd down and goal. McCarron's getting time, incomplete. It'll be 3rd down, and Michael Williams was covered that time in the corner of the end zone.
Remember the first matchup when Alabama moved the ball at will at times. They'd get inside the LSU 40-yard line, and they were unable to come away with points. Their first 3 drives, they moved the ball, and you know, they ended up missing 3 field goals. Now here they are again in plus territory. Can this game, can it be different? Are they going to be able to execute down here and get touchdowns and not settle for field goal attempts?
Now they send Richardson out of the backfield, out with Kenny Bell on Hanks. 3 receivers to the left. McCarron checks to the right. Pump fake, gonna get hit from behind on the throw and gets it off in time. So it was out of bounds. Brad Smelly makes the catch. But the field goal unit, I believe, is jogging onto the field.
And this has been a kind of a reoccurring theme for Alabama this year when they got into the red zone, not just against LSU and their struggles in that game, but really without a true threat out at wide receiver, outside of Mays. You look at what they've done when it comes to scoring touchdowns. They've only been able to convert 58% of the time for touchdowns.
23-yarder. Shelley nails it, and that is huge for his confidence. He was lethal in the pregame warm-up, and Alabama takes an early field goal lead. Kate Foster with the ball on the tee. LSU has struggled on offense. Both times they've had the ball 3 and out. Now Claiborne is a terrific kickoff returner. Fields this one from the 8. And great coverage by Bama. He's down at the 27. So Alfred Blue, the running back. A leaping grab by Odell Beckham Jr. Maybe that'll settle Jefferson down. Herbie, if anything, Jordan Jefferson just has not settled into the game. They're coming up quickly to the huddle. They're coming without it. So they're going to go fast now. Jordan Jefferson keeps it. That's what he can do. Hurt you on the run. You were critical of his option ability, but when he takes off like that, he's a strong one.
And he's got to be able to make a difference when things are covered. This Alabama defense will cover down a lot of things, and his legs have got to be able to create and keep plays alive. This tempo, I think, has as much to do with trying to get him to not think as much and just play the game.
Trying to pick it up, and here he is on a read and nothing doing, and that was Kirkpatrick.
And this is what Alabama's defense has learned from the last time they faced LSU in that option. They're going to play a little bit more cover 2, which gets a corner up and run support. Dre Kirkpatrick is there, able to make a play. LSU averaged 8 yards a carry in the first matchup when they ran option with Jefferson. That time, Kirkpatrick's there to make the play.
Jefferson fires, and that is complete to the 47-yard line, and Beckham again.
It's a big completion because now they get back to where their comfort zone is, where they're a little bit closer. 3rd and 4. They need to avoid those 3rd and 6+ chances and get to 3rd and 3 to 4.
Nickel coverage on this. They drop it off to Blue, who's going in reverse against that defense that time, and that was C.J. Mosley.
C.J. Mosley had Alfred Blue man for man coming down to the backfield, and what was amazing is with that hurry up, Mosley's just running out of the field, and he looks up and he's, oh, I got 4, I got him. All of a sudden the ball's right there, and he's able to make the play out in the flat. So Alabama a little hesitant getting the right personnel and getting the call in, but it didn't backfire on him.
So Alabama, with Mays out, now faces his first big decision as Brad Wing will come in. He's late to get on the field this time. Got it off in time, and a fair catch is signaled at the 10-yard line, and that was Christian Jones, a young freshman receiver who was back as the punt return man. McCarron deflected, caught on the ricochet, and it was caught by Underwood, one of the tight ends.
And this defensive alignment here, Mingo, because he's so athletic, you can see that he can drop back out into the flat, but looked like that time Benny Logan just puts his big hand up there to knock the ball down. But what tremendous concentration here by Underwood. And what I love what Jim McElwain's doing right now is he's moving A.J. McCarron around. Now they have Barrett Jones lined up as a fullback here. Just showing a lot of different looks.
14 plays and 10 passes by Alabama. They have broken tendency here. Down marker, and he appears to have moved the chains. Yes, he has, for Alabama.
There's an overload to the right where Barrett Jones, their All-American left tackles, lined up as a fullback, and then moves up to the right side, and they overload that right side. And again, just a different look. You have all this time to prepare, and Jim McElwain clearly taking advantage of it. A lot of different formations and personnel groupings, trying to create some confusion for LSU.
McElwain loves an unbalanced line. Now they shift 2 tight ends over to the left. First down and 10. Final seconds of the opening quarter, and here's McCarron gonna go deep, leaping catch. Ball is grabbed at the 38-yard line, and Norwood off the bench, made the leaping catch for Bama as the first quarter comes to an end.
Well, we talked about who's going to step up with Mays out, and here is Norwood, a sophomore, only had 7 catches on the year. Tremendous effort to go up and over the Honey Badger and make a huge play on another play-action pass on 1st and 10.
Honey Badger better care about that one. That's 26 yards. And this young man
in his zone
has put a charge into the Tide, playing with some confidence, Herbie, which is what he said he lacked in game 1. Enjoying himself. First quarter's come to an end. Bama leads it. Crimson Tide leads it. And Herbie, what about that first quarter?
I'm impressed with A.J. McCarron and the way Jim McElwain is utilizing him in this passing game. They've had a lot of success. We talked about it before the game. 1st and 10 is the time they want to attack LSU. He's 5 for 5 on 1st and 10 with play-action passes.
2 stories. McCarron's playing very well, and Lacey stays in the game. Play action. He's got a wide open Smelly, and he just overthrows him by a yard. He was breaking free on that far side. Number 17 is a huge part of the game plan. But my question is, what has happened to Richardson?
And Brent, look at what they're looking at on 1st and 10. Eddie Lacy's in the game for Trent Richardson. A little bit of action there with the reverse there to the freshman. But all the eyes of the defenders in the backfield. And what's happening is these tight ends are slipping behind that coverage. And that time, he just missed making a huge play again on 1st and 10.
Harrison Jones, one of those tight ends, is off to the right. Kenny Bell is number 7. Play action. McCarron left open, takes off and slides to the 30-yard line. So this will put them in a 3rd and manageable. Very good decision by the young man from Mobile, Alabama.
And because they're mixing up the play calling, what has happened is I think LSU has lost some of their aggression. And I think the pass protection has been outstanding for McCarron. He's had time to evaluate, look down into coverage, and then here he makes a great decision to pull the ball down and instead of throwing it away, pick up some valuable yardage.
Lacey stays in as the running back in 3rd down. They now shift in to a power formation. Pressure from the linebackers, and Lacey not going to get there. You're going to wonder why number 3 wasn't on the field. That was Matthew came up to make the stop.
You see Matthew back here, and he's going to get in run support. And Brent, you're right. The first matchup, you know, Trent Richardson had 3 touches inside the LSU 40-yard line. And for whatever reason, they in plus territory again, and number 3 is not in the lineup.
Cade Foster trots in. Here comes your 49-yarder. It's a fake. Shovel pass inside. Got. Oh, it's going to be close. It is really going to be close. Underwood. Everybody said, why didn't Saban pooch punt? Why didn't he fake? Saban was listening. It was 4th and 4. It is going to be so close, folks. Wow. Alabama moves the chains by an inch.
Brent Underwood's lined up to the left here. He's going to come under. The action is this way. It's just a little shovel pass. LSU, a good job on these long field goals after the way the first game went, being observant, expecting the fake, and you might see LSU challenge this call.
Hanks is in the backfield, right next to the quarterback. That offensive line giving McCarron time. Throw to tight coverage, incomplete that time. And coming over was Hatcher, the middle linebacker. Give you an idea of how Alabama's dominated this game. They have 10 first downs to LSU's 1 so far.
It's interesting that in the first game, and I thought it would be different in the second game, Trent Richardson, when Alabama gets into plus territory, goes out of the game. And he's by far their best playmaker, and he's not injured. He just goes out of the game. Lacey comes in, and this is an offense that has struggled in plus territory without Trent Richardson in the lineup.
Delay with Lacey. Spins to the left and crashes inside on a fine run. His best of the night to the 16-yard line, and Claiborne cleans it up.
Bit of a risk here by LSU. They brought the house. A lot of pressure. They brought their linebackers, and that's going to be feast or famine. You're either going to make a play in the backfield, or if the back's able to get around him, there's a lot of room to run. It's a good job of picking up the blocks up front and pushing Ryan Baker outside. And then how about the spin move here by Lacey?
Brockers and Logan check back into the middle of that defensive front for LSU on this 3rd and short. Lacey, the running back. Smelly, the tight end. Lacey is ridden down short of the first down, and Brockers makes another impact right after he checks back into the game.
Now, you and I both love these inside guys. Brockers is involved here. Love this shot here. But watch Kiki Mingo. He's known as a pass rush expert, but this time gets involved in run support. This time he beats the block of the big tight end Underwood and gets involved to push Eddie Lacy back.
So Nick Saban coming right back with Jeremy Shelley. Ball will be put down at the 24-yard line. Remember now, McCarron is the holder. This would be a 34-yard field goal. They have faked one earlier with their other kicker. Nails this one. Here we go again. Alabama up by a pair of field goals in the BCS Championship. We welcome you back to the 2012 All-State BCS National Championship Game. Alabama 6, LSU nothing. You know, Herbie, down the stretch with LSU, they had a tendency to fall back in the first half and then come on, and you know, it turned around. Matthews punt return touchdown.
And until we see something differently, whether it's a punt return, a kickoff return, a turnover, a sack, something to spark LSU, to get their fans into the game. Remember, Alabama in their last 2 games against Georgia Southern and Auburn, they gave up kickoff returns for touchdowns. So if LSU wants to maybe try to do something, maybe they get a big return here to get this crowd going, get some momentum back.
Here's Foster's kickoff, and here is Claiborne. He took a big one back against West Virginia in a 27-21 game. And Alabama does a great job of not letting him get outside, and he's brought down at the 21. And the freshman Hilliard, they're determined to get Hilliard going. Here he is. Picks up a couple against that fierce Alabama front. As good as any you will see. They did everything in that game back in November except win. And yes, that counts. But this is a fabulous front seven. These guys, when you see them on the hoof, Herbie, you and I were impressed. I said, wow, it looks like they could be playing the New Orleans Saints on Saturday night.
And by playing a 3-4, those defensive linemen don't necessarily make a lot of plays as far as tackles, but they consume the linemen and allow those 4 linebackers to run around and make all the tackles.
Jefferson checks with the sideline for a change in the signal. LSU searching for a play. Something big to happen. They roll Jefferson to the right. And he's going to hoof it out of bounds. Beckham was the target as he rolled right. He got checked in that zone coverage and was trying to sit down, and Jefferson had committed to the run.
That was just outstanding coverage. Jefferson's looking in to this defense, and he's trying to find somebody to get it to. Beckham, 33, he's locked up there. There's nobody open, and eventually Jordan Jefferson tries to make something happen there to try to pick up a yard or 2.
3rd down and 5. Claymore, one of the tight ends, number 88. Spencer Ware, one of the better receiving running backs. They're very deep at that possession, but so far Jordan Jefferson has been confused. Sinceri is the free safety for Alabama on this series. 3rd down and long. He's back in center field. Terrific special teams player, son of an Alabama assistant coach. Low snap. Jefferson picks it up. Nothing doing. They are forced to punt. So they burn a timeout. They come up with another sloppy play, and it continues.
And this is coming out of a timeout. The clock's down to play clock's down to 3, 2, 1. Jordan Jefferson's looking off to his right. He gives it the leg kick. But as he's fielding the snap, he's actually looking at the Alabama defense. That's why he drops the ball. It's like, see his eyes peek up. his eyes look up because he senses pressure, and by taking his eye off the ball, he just drops it on the ground. Another miscue that Bama's forcing on LSU's offense.
Well, that's the 4th 3 and out. Brad Wing hangs it up in the air. Jones, fair catch signal. And at the 22, Matthew, the gunner, in on top.
Done. No.
First down, McElwain going to go airborne again. Tried to drop it to Smelly, and this time LSU has made an adjustment, and they came hard with Brandon Taylor, the safety, that time.
The clock's winding down. Nick Saban ends up calling the timeout. Remember, Alabama does get the ball to start the second half. So right now they're just trying to fight to get into field goal range. But A.J. McCarron, without having Mays, is not going to be able to get into field goal range by dumping it down underneath there to Brad.
A chance. 2nd and 12 for the Tide. Matthew is picked up, coming on a blitz, and it's complete to the 45-yard line, and that is Norwood again.
Good job of Trent Richardson picking up the blitz by Matthew. Bama trying to hurry this up here. Clock is moving after that first down.
Karen in underneath with a completion to the 41-yard line. Simon makes the stop on Williams, the tight end. Now Bama with 2 timeouts in 21 seconds. They used 1. 2nd down and 6 now. The safeties are deep for LSU. McCarron on the move, throws on the run to the sideline, and it's a great catch over there and stops the clock across the 30-yard line. They come back again to Norwood.
Yeah, Kevin Norwood with another opportunity. The sophomore is making some plays. How about A.J. McCarron keeping the play alive, getting away from pressure? I'll tell you, he's a better athlete than I think people realize. It's 6'4", 205 pounds.
He had a great smile on his face after practice the other day, and he said, you know, I've just got to enjoy myself more. I've got to turn it loose, and that's what we've seen here tonight. 17-24. Here comes the blitz. Picked up. A.J. throws to Hanks. Trying to break a tackle from Matthew, and he keeps going to the 23. 6 seconds on that clock.
Nick Saban's already called the timeout.
With 4 seconds. He's looking at where the ball is spotted and how far this field goal is going to be.
Tell you something, that's an impressive drive just to get into field goal range here. They're playing off of Hanks, and they'll tell you that he's their best route runner. He's matched up there with Tyrann Mathieu. Not only does he make the catch, but he fights with Matthew to pick up every yard that he can to help these poor field goal kickers out from Alabama. He's not giving up on that play.
4 seconds remaining. It'll get put down on the 32. Here comes a 42-yarder for Jeremy Shelley. Laces were spun beautifully, and he puts him up by 3 field goals.
Boy, A.J. McCarron, talking about emotion, seeing him run off the field. First half, he is without a doubt the MVP. That effort by playing quarterback, and as you said, spinning the laces there to give his kicker Shelley a chance.
So here's Tom Rinaldi with Coach down on the field. Tom.
Thanks very much. Nick, you've dominated the first half offensively. How do you translate that into touchdowns in the red zone?
Well, we've got to do a better job and score more points. I mean, it's a good football team. You know, they play good in the second half. They play very well as a team. So, you know, we're going to have to continue to do a good job defensively, but we need to score some touchdowns here.
Thanks very much, Nick. Appreciate it. Let's go over to Aaron.
Tom, thanks so much. Les, your offense just not clicking. How do you get them going in the second half?
We got to make our best calls. You know, it's interesting. We had cadence issues, fumbled snaps. I mean, every possible mistake was made. What's got to happen at this point is we got to chuck that, and we got to go to those things that we came here to do.
All right, thanks so much, Brent.
Halftime of the 2012 All-State BCS National Championship. Alabama leads it by 3 field goals. Right back for the Buick Halftime Report with Chris Fowler in a moment as we welcome you back to the second half of the All-State BCS National Championship. The statistics tell the story, and for LSU, they are flat ugly. They have not been able to even cross midfield as you take a look at our numbers right now, with Bama leading by 3 field goals here, Herbie.
I tell you, LSU should be very grateful that their defense has played well enough to keep them in the game. I mean, Bama hits the field goal there at the end of the half to make it a 2-possession game with 9 points. But it could be a lot worse, considering how bad LSU's offense looked in the first half. If I'm Les Miles, I'm in there at halftime and say, fellas, we're 13-0 for a reason. We've been in these situations. We looked awful in Atlanta in the SEC championship. We turned it around and scored 35 straight in the second half against Georgia. We can find a way to do it again. But in order to do that, Les Miles needs somebody from his defense to make a play to give Jordan Jefferson in this offense a short field to work with. Give him some confidence and try to get the momentum back.
Coming out from deep in the end zone. And a strong return to the 30 by young Christian Jones, who has replaced Mays as the ace return man. And so Jones, the freshman, gives him a charge here to start the second half.
It'll be interesting to see how LSU tries to slow down this offense. A.J. McCarron, they took 18 first downs in the first half, 18 snaps. 16 of the 18 were passes. And they rolled him out with play action a lot of times to take advantage of that aggressive LSU defense. Got him outside, dumping out in the flat. Let's see what they can do to try to contain him and come after him a little bit more to try to create those turnover opportunities.
Richardson opens the second half as Williams and Smelly flex over to the right side of the offensive line. And McCarron on first down has been a thrower tonight over the Honey Badger to Hanks. Darius Hanks, who has become the go-to guy, and they burn number 7 on the first play from scrimmage for 19.
And great timing and rhythm between McCarron and Hanks. The ball is out of his hand by the time Hanks made the cut to the outside, and they're actually going after Matthew in man coverage.
Now that slip screen to the outside, and Bell catches an alley, and Bell in the foot race is out of bounds. Eric Reed chasing him, and the young man takes it all the way into the red zone right now for Bama.
Brett, watch Hanks on this block on Tyrann Mathieu to get him to the corner right there. Nice job with a catch and a play. The next play, Hanks comes up with a big block to spring Bell loose down the right sideline. Good effort there again by Hanks.
They're only at the 23 when he stepped out of bounds. So a little bit shy of what I had originally thought. And Richardson on the field right now here in the second half does get the first carry. So perhaps they were using Lacey to give him a little bit of a blow here for the second half. But he's staying on the field this time.
Keep him on the field. You get into plus territory. He's your difference maker. But Alabama there with a little bit of hurry up, maybe to try to slow down LSU, who you would think would want to come out aggressively, but they got on their heels in a hurry after that great throw by A.J. McCarron.
First down has bugged the Tide against LSU. Second down and 10. Wide open Hanks. And he is to the 18-yard line before he's brought down by Mentor, the linebacker.
Good job of bringing Hanks. They're moving him around now. Here he is in the backfield. They slip him out. Linebacker comes. Quick throw to the outside. You got a linebacker out there trying to deal with a wide receiver out in the flat.
So Jim McElwain, who after this game will become the head coach at Colorado State, is upstairs dialing in plays. There is Jim, young man from Missoula, Montana, out of Sentinel High School, quarterback at Eastern Washington. And here he is with a third down and 5. And he likes what he sees with McCarron throwing, deflected. And that was a chance for Eric Reed to pick it off, but he couldn't quite get there. Once the ball is deflected like that against the secondary, it's a real jump ball.
And it's tight windows, Brent. Great effort that time again by Benny Logan to knock that ball away. Reed, you're right, almost comes up with that big play, but give LSU and their defense some credit. They're giving up yards, but they're not giving up touchdowns.
So Jeremy Shelley for 35 yards this time. Slides it through from the right hash. Jeremy Shelley, 12, LSU, nothing. Well, here's the season-ending award. That's the coach's trophy presented by Dr. Pepper. And Alabama trying to come back and avenge their only setback of the season. And hold that Tiger. Look how he's disguised today as that honey badger, but he hasn't fooled the Crimson Tide.
LSU bench looking very dejected and concerned, and Jordan Jefferson, hope he realizes the importance of this drive, getting the ball to start this second half for the LSU offense.
That Claiborne, ever dangerous, but Alabama has done a great job of holding their lanes, forcing him back to the middle. Breaks out at the 20-yard line, and he is down at the 24. LSU's been all over the map offensively. They haven't identified at all what they want to do here against this Tide defense. They'll roll on first down. Beckham's open, and they can't get it to him. Beckham was wide open that time.
Well, this is what we talked about, Brent, taking a few shots downfield against the Crimson Tide defense and being aggressive. The freshman here, a little bit of a double move. He gets behind Kirkpatrick, but Lester, sitting back there in cover 2, is in that area where he's supposed to take out a wide receiver. But I'll tell you what, the angle that he took there, if Beckham was able to undercut that and hold on to the football, he might have been able to escape Lester and get to the end zone.
Now that Alabama defense licking its chops. They've got LSU in 2nd and 10 just where they want it. Down. Spencer Ware coming in. Need a dozen to get to the first down marker. Jefferson. Interception. Threw it away. A horrible mistake. Mosley's got it. Bama is in business again.
Well, tremendous play here, and again, LSU and Jordan Jefferson. He just throws the ball up, just trying to shovel pass here as he started to scramble. He starts to panic. He has time to make a throw. There's Ware helping out. Then he kind of sneaks out. Ware thinks he's going to take off and run with it, just kind of flips it. And Mosley with a big injury there. Jefferson just thought Ware would stay with him. Ware started the block. Mosley makes the play for the big interception.
Flanked out to the right. Now they bring Smelly over to the left side of the formation. And he'll come again with Lacey. Can't get the corner. Going to be thrown for a loss on that play. Mingo made the stop for the Tigers. Negative yardage on first down.
They were able to set the edge that time. They did not give Eddie Lacy the corner. Pushed him back to the inside where the speed of the LSU defense was able to corral him. I mean, they've been moving A.J. McCarron when he has thrown the football. A lot of bootlegs, a lot of nakeds, moving away from potential pressure from LSU.
Richardson is now the Alabama running back. He's a fine receiver. Norwood has been big tonight. Play action. McCarron fires middle to the 1-yard line. Incomplete. It's being waved off by the field judge. Field judge came quickly up. Gibson was the intended receiver.
Boy, what a huge play that Eric Reed made in the first matchup between these teams. And this time, he is able to dislodge this football. And I think it comes down right towards the end, right before he gets to the ground. The impact from Reed on Gibson, he's able to separate him from that ball.
The Honey Badger, the nickel man, is looking at Norwood. 3rd down and 10. Smelly goes to that side. In trouble. Shakes it. McCarron dives, and here comes that man, Jeremy Shelley again.
I'm so impressed with A.J. McCarron. This year is a first-year starter taking over for Greg McElroy. You waited for the moment that he might have. Look at this effort here, where he might just grow up and this team starts to become his. Tonight, this is the first time I've watched him play all year where he just seems to be able to come up with answers. And this may not seem like a huge play, but the fact he was able to scramble up there and get a few yards gives him, again, a chance here for another field goal attempt.
So here is a 45-yarder. It has been a little bit out of his comfort zone at times. I'm going to officially say it's a 44-yarder. McCarron puts it down for him. and he bangs on it. Got it. A 44-yarder for Jeremy Shelley. That's a career long. A career long. Puts Bama up 15-0. And now the heat is really on LSU.
Talk about how when you're a kicker, I think it has so much to do with your mindset and your confidence. And right now, with all these kicks that Shelley's been able to make, I think he's approaching these kicks with a different edge about him and a different approach as he gets a chance. And Nick Saban has worked so hard on these kickers in their preparation after what happened in the first matchup and trying to keep them confident. I'm going to go to you. Did it earlier with Cade Foster tonight, and Shelley's been able to step up and make some plays for him.
This is a well-coached football team from Tuscaloosa. So here's Claiborne from a yard deep, trying to get a left return. Nothing doing. Down at the 21-yard line, Sunseri, who's a devil coming down from right 3, was right there. Still no change at quarterback, even though the Baton Rouge natives are growing restless. Fires low, and it is complete to the 29-yard line. D'Angelo Peterson's first catch of the night. Let's check it down below with Tom Rinaldi. Tom.
Well, Brent, after that field goal was successfully made, A.J. McCarron, the quarterback, and the holder on their field goals limped off the field. He's being treated medically. His right leg being rubbed down right now. We'll have to keep an eye on that as we head into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, he's telling everybody that he's all right there, Tom, on the bench, but we will. Nick Saban went right up to him as he came off. 1 quarter left for Jordan Jefferson. The sands of time running out in New Orleans. Welcome back to the 2012 All-State BCS National Championship. With Kirk Herbstreit, Tom Rinaldi, and Aaron Andrews, I'm Brent Musburger. Another field goal battle, but this time Alabama has all 5 of them. LSU can't get across midfield, being stoned by this Alabama defense, which has yielded only 8.8 points a game, best of the decade, and they're closing in on another one. Helmets come flying against this defense. Herbie, it's amazing. Alabama leads in total defense, rush defense, pass efficiency D, third down defense. It is incredible when you watch these players.
Yeah, 2 years ago, they had an outstanding defense led by Rolando McClain. Last year, they had a lot of talent, but they were young. Nick Saban this year using the experience. You could see the year. All you have to know is their defense allowed 9 touchdowns on the season. I think Clemson gave up more than that in just their bowl game the other night.
They're down and 1 now. Ford has checked in for LSU. They'll go to the short man and Hilliard, and it wasn't easy. The freshman lined up the big back, and LSU had been 0 of 7 on third.
And I don't know if I've ever, in all the years of watching LSU football, ever seen an LSU team as lifeless as this football team. Alabama has just come after them and taken, look at this, look at the attitude. You've never seen LSU look like this. Back.
And here comes Ware. He bangs to the 40, so they're within 10 yards of midfield.
Trying to get there. You know, a lot of people look at this LSU offense. They haven't been in the midfield. You think, why not make a quarterback change? Why isn't Jarrett Lee in there to try to give him a spark? Well, Jarrett Lee's had his chances in his career. A couple starts against Alabama. Look at those last 2 numbers. 1 touchdown and 7 interceptions. That might have a lot to do with why he's still on the sideline, and they're counting on Jordan Jefferson.
Only 9:15 remaining. Jefferson. No first down, and it'll be third down. Fairly manageable this time as DePriest comes up. I mean, not only are the ones making tackles, Mosley, of course, is out, but now the 2s and the 3s are chipping in for Coach Nick Saban. What a fabulous job he has done along with Kirby Smart. When we went to practice, Herbie, Saban never took his eye off the defense. Never even looked at one snap offensively. Left it up to McElwain. Stampley in now as the fullback, and here comes Hilliard. Here comes Power, looking for that first down, looking for anything good to happen. Toss play. Hilliard, freshman, busts through, keeps going. Can he get the 50? Thrown just short of it. My goodness, give me something to get excited about. I promise some touchdowns tonight. Look at this, more field goal.
Well, 3rd and short, it's just a battle in the trenches there. Power play, follows Williford around there to pick up the first down. They go with their power back. And Kenny Hilliard's able to give them the first down, but that's not going to get them on the board. They need touchdowns. They got to get the ball downfield.
Here comes pressure picked up. Jefferson forced to take off, 45-40. Splits up the middle and down to the 31-yard line. And that's the most penetrating offense that the Tigers have had here, 17 yards.
First time I've seen Jordan Jefferson run aggressively. They brought both the linebackers, Nico Johnson, Dante Hightower. Once he escaped them, he recognized a huge void in the middle of the defense, and look how he didn't hesitate. He just took off. First time he's done it all game.
So across the 50 for the first time today. Ball at the Tide 32-yard line. Running the option. Didn't run it decisively. Pitch to the man who's stretched out of bounds.
All year, you've seen Jordan Jefferson run the option from the shotgun. Well, tonight he's run some from under center. Here's our view from the DirecTV Ultimate Picture Cam. Again, he attacks Harris, but Harris is involved in being able to make the tackle. Also a great job by Daquan Menzie getting off the block attempt that time by Ruben Randall to get involved as well. Option has not worked for LSU tonight.
Spencer Ware. He's the running back. Jefferson back. Incomplete. And Jefferson's complaining that his receiver was pulled down on the play.
Well, Brent, it was a tremendous effort actually by Nick Gentry, the backup nose guard who was in there. Watch him get around the block. He gets a hand there on Spencer Ware. Spencer Ware behind the line of scrimmage there, trying to set up the screen, and Gentry sniffs it out there.
3rd down from the 40-yard line. They're obviously having an offensive player, or we'd have had intentional grounding called. So on 3rd down, Jefferson wings it deep, incomplete. Pressure was coming again. Young Sinceri was on the field. And the pass was to Jarvis Landry, the freshman.
Sinceri off the left edge, a true freshman. He's playing high school football last year as a linebacker. He gets the pressure on Jordan Jefferson. If he would have had a little bit more time, he had his own true freshman, Jarvis Landry, one-on-one against Menzie, and he had a step on him. Just didn't have enough time to make the accurate throw.
Sinceri's brother, the quarterback at Pittsburgh. 4th down. 4th down and going. That could be a fumble. Hightower got in on him. Dante Hightower ripped it loose. That's a fumble. Turn it over. Look at the Tide. Celebrating now. 6-15, up 15, dominating with this defense. This is a mauling, folks, a mauling. Number 30, one of the great linebackers. He'll play a long time in the National Football League. Rips it loose. A teammate falls on it. And I believe it was Gentry, who's had a whale of a game, who's able to get his body over on the football for Nick Saban.
TNT.
We welcome you back to the 2012 All-State BCS National Championship. Alabama closing in on the first shutout in any BCS Bowl, including the championship game. And the young man, Gentry, fell on that fumble. There's Dante Hightower. He was a lot finalist this year. Simply one of the great all-around football players on this Alabama team, and a gentleman off. First down and 10. Richardson on a bit of a delay.
Brent, I know you can appreciate this. Dante Hightower plays the middle linebacker, but on third down situations, they'll move him to defensive end. Now, what he does here to Alex Hurst is instead of coming out wide, he actually fights him to the inside. I think he catches the right tackle by surprise with his suddenness and how quick he moved to the inside. And then look how he keeps, after he knocks the ball away, he fights to keep Jordan Jefferson away from the football to give Gentry enough time to pounce on the football for the turnover.
Down. Alabama working on the clock now, leading by 15 points. Karen rolling hard to the left. He's going to take it himself. Dive forward. So McCarron on that sideline. He's been a bundle of energy tonight.
Watch the defense flow. Everybody thinks they're killing the clock. Trent Richardson's going to get it. They're not going to run the bootleg. Look at A.J. McCarron with the wheels and the presence of mind to stay in bounds. But this is going to be a run all the way. He got to the corner, got around Sam Montgomery, picked up the first down, and then stayed in bounds. But showing again that athletic ability that I think may be surprising some people tonight.
So A.J. McCarron, only a sophomore. Now they come back with the Doak Walker Award winner, and he stays in bounds too. So well coached. Eric Reed making the stop, and the youngsters who have stepped up big. There are the sophomores, and you can see that they all lost in the BCS National Championship game, but A.J. McCarron can break that streak. He can become the first sophomore and freshman to win the BCS championship. He is within 5 minutes. DeAndrew White, one of the wide receivers, is now out to the right. Jim McElwain calling the plays, hammering away at the clock right now. And Richardson breaks free on the sideline. End zone. How about that? Finally, a touchdown between these two. The 8th quarter of warfare between Alabama and LSU, and Bama scores on a 34-yard touchdown run by the Doak Walker Award winner, Trent Richardson, who broke a lot of Emmett Smith's records back in Pensacola, Florida, and he surely will head for the National Football League next season. Probably will be the first running back drafted. Buddy Shelley hits the right upright, no good.
We had to have a missed extra point, right, with a touchdown. We had to have something. Look at this. Somebody's going to see the score tomorrow and think, oh, there are 3 touchdowns scored. How about that?
There is Ingram. And of course, Richardson backed him up for a couple of years on Ingram's way to a Heisman Trophy.
Well, the left side of the offensive line just blew LSU off the ball, sealed the edge, and number 3 finally gets to the outside with some running room.
Bang! There are a lot of LSU fans headed for Bourbon Street as you look from the balcony of the Royal Sonesta Hotel over in the quarter. There are all kinds of empty seats. They do not want to see the awarding of the trophy to one of their arch rivals. Beckham is back deep with Brooks. So they'll give Beckham a chance on this kickoff return. And then we'll see if Lee cleans up this game in his last appearance for LSU. And Ron Brooks was the return man that time. Back to the touchdown.
Trent Richardson is able to get some great blocks on the left side. They just covered everybody up from the LSU defense, but the vision to bounce this outside and follow the blocking. Michael Williams, the tight end, kind of sealed the edge on the block against Barrow. But this is classic Trent Richardson. Feel it, bounce it, get to the outside, and then he's got the speed to be able to take it into the end zone.
Alfred Blue will be Jordan Jefferson's running back. So it will be Jefferson who will take it home here for LSU. Down by 3 touchdowns. And it'll be 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, Alabama is known for how they pressure, how they blitz you. They've done some blitzing on 3rd down. But for the most part, Brent, it's just been the front 4 from Alabama just getting pressure and beating LSU's offensive linemen up.
Let's take you back to Pasadena 2 years ago. Marcel Darius drove Colt McCoy out of the game with an injury in the first quarter. Bama won the national championship. Tonight, they've made Jordan Jefferson basically invisible in this game as Dante Hightower comes up with the play on Spencer Ware. So another awesome defensive performance against an opposing quarterback by the Crimson Tide.
Outstanding defense combined with very poor offensive play and quarterback play from LSU. LSU has not been aggressive offensively. You thought it might change from the first matchup to this game, but Jordan Jefferson has just not been able to get into a rhythm tonight.
And he's down at the 19-yard line. Hightower again, number 30.
And this time they did bring the pressure. This time they get him to 3rd down and long, and they decide to dial it up and put the heat on him, which is what they're known for. The offensive line, I don't want to put this all on Jordan Jefferson. The offensive line, especially on 3rd downs, just getting overmatched up front physically, and at times, as in that case, just getting lost on who to pick up because of how complicated Alabama's coverage can be and how their blitz package is.
Jones lays off it again.
Even worse this one. This one was worse than the previous punt. Close to midfield.
On only a 27-yard punt. Back in 1931. The Tide shut out Washington State. 1963 Orange Bowl. Blanked Oklahoma. And you've got to wonder, have they finally found the coach that can make them forget the Bear? Nah, we'll never forget the Bear. One of the greatest of all times. How much fun we had hanging around with him, huh, folks? That great gravelly voice. Wouldn't he love this? Here comes Lacey now working on the clock. Eric Reed makes the stop. You know, Alabama will be without an offensive coordinator as soon as this game ends. That's right. Jim McElwain will head to Fort Collins. He'll be the next coach at Colorado State. The rumors are that Brent Pease will be leaving Boise State as their offensive coordinator. But guess what? There's a tug of war between Florida and Alabama for Pease's services. Brent Pease was once the offensive coordinator at Montana. He also knows Saban from his days as a backup quarterback with the Houston Oilers when Nick was an assistant on that staff.
My agent on line 2 on that one for Brent Pease. That's a pretty good tug of war to be involved in.
Oh, isn't that the truth? As he off here, Herbie. And it will be 3rd down. They got the clock down to the final 2 minutes, and it just seems inevitable now. And you know, we've got a couple of minutes. I want to say something to all the fans in Tuscaloosa. You suffered a great deal back in April. That tornado ripped through. There were deaths, great destruction. This football team came together, helped a lot of people in that town. And I dare say this is for you. This one on behalf of Saban and the players is going to be for the great folks in Tuscaloosa. Handoff to Lacey. Clock continues to run. What a night. Not a single turnover. Only one penalty. That came on a punt here tonight. They have completely dominated this game. They have held LSU to under 100 yards of offense. They have 381. And what is it about Alabama for the third straight year? That trophy is going back twice with the Tide and, of course, last year with Auburn.
Amazing. It's amazing to think about the legend of Nick Saban and how it just continues to grow after the championship 2 years ago, and what this defense was able to do tonight to lead them to yet another national championship for the Crimson Tide.
So on 4th down.
Remember last time in the championship, they hit him over the head when they tried to get the water? Let's see if he told them, be careful this time, fellas.
Alabama gets a second chance and makes the most of it. They win the BCS championship behind Coach Nick Saban and quarterback A.J. McCarron. If it hadn't been so decisive, you would wonder if the Associated Press would vote LSU #1. But after what they've seen here tonight, there is no way that anybody can vote a team better than what we looked at with the Crimson Tide. Look at Nick down there with the middle of it. He enjoys the bat this year. 2 years ago, he tried to keep him off the bat. Look at that rascal. Let's go down now to Tom Rinaldi.
Thanks very much. Before I get to the defensive effort and performance, you saw the Gatorade shower this time. You reacted a little differently. What'd you do?
I loved it. I loved it.
How would you describe the effort of your defense in this game?
Well, I think it was a great team win. I think our defense did a great job, but I'm tell you what, our offense controlled the momentum and the tempo of this game from start to finish. Did a great job on special teams. That's just a great team win. Every guy here, every fan that we have, every supporter in our program, this is great for Alabama.
What was the difference in A.J. McCarron tonight?
Well, you know, A.J. wasn't quite himself in the first game. And, you know, we knew that he was going to have to play well because we knew we were going to throw the ball on first down a lot. And he did a fantastic job in this game. And he showed great leadership and poise and making good decisions.
When you lost November 5th, a lot of your players credited the way you handled walking into that locker room and the message that you delivered to them. What did you say that night that helped this night be possible, Nick?
Well, I told the guys, I said, we got to finish things right. That's our character. That's what we do. And if we do it right, we may get another opportunity. And if we get another opportunity, let's make sure we're doing all the things that every day that we're going to be able to take advantage of it.
I know it's about the program and the players. I know you love them. But for you, first coach to win 3 national titles in the BCS era.
I didn't know that.
What does that mean to you?
Well, you know what? Right now, I'm just so happy for our players and our team and my family and all of our fans and the University of Alabama that, you know, it really isn't about me. It's about all those folks. It's a lot bigger than that. LSU's got a great team. They've got a great team. And it really kind of too bad that there's 2 great teams in our league this year and in the same year.
Finally, Nick, I know Tuscaloosa has been through a great deal, and you and your team have been very involved. It's just a football game and a victory. But what message do you hope to send to that town tonight?
Well, I think it gives everybody a lot of joy and spirit and hope, you know, that we're going to continue to work and move forward and try to help people restore their lives in our community. But things like this make everybody happy and give them a lot of hope.
Nick, congratulations, a great win.
The Gatorade bath for the winning coach, Nick Saban. 2 BCS championships within the last 3 years. And another trophy will be headed to Tuscaloosa as we go down below to John Saunders. John?
Well, Brent, thanks a lot. We're here once again. Seems like we just did this a couple of years ago. First of all, we should say congratulations to Les Miles and LSU on a terrific college football season. But now it's time to celebrate the Crimson Tide of Alabama. Let's bring in the head coach. Nick Saban still coaching. He's still orchestrating his team, trying to get the right people on the stage. Nick, if you could please come up. We'll talk to you in a moment, but first of all, Bill Hancock, who is the commissioner of the BCS, and we first would like to say thank you from Allstate for putting on another terrific national championship game. Would like to present you with the coach's trophy presented by Dr. Pepper.
Thank you, John. Coach, first of all, on behalf of the conferences and institutions that manage the BCS, I want to congratulate both of these fine teams for their effort tonight and all during the season. And now it's my honor to present, on behalf of the American Football Coaches Association, the coach's trophy presented by Dr. Pepper to Coach Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Congratulations to the entire defense, the entire Crimson Tide, the entire Crimson Tide family. Alabama national champions for the second time in the last 3 years. Right now, let's throw it back to Brent Musburger.
John, thank you very much. You talk about domination. 92 total yards by LSU, an average of only 2.1. 2 of 12 on third down. The Tide forced 2 turnovers here tonight. Alabama certainly reigns as #1 here tonight, Herbie. What are your final thoughts on this one?
Well, obviously, everybody's going to remember this game 10 or 20 years from now. Remember that great defense. I mean, they came out, set the tone early, took away LSU's ability to run the football, and then they put Jordan Jefferson in some obvious passing downs. The offensive line of LSU didn't help out in any way at all. But I think the one thing I'll really appreciate is A.J. McCarron and the way he really asserted himself early, the play calling by Jim McElwain. I think it put McCarron into a flow early, got his confidence established. He finishes 23 of 34. So as Nick Saban said, just a great team effort, offense, defense, special teams, 1 penalty. I mean, it was as dominating a performance as I've ever seen in college football.
And this has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Thanks to everybody who contributed here tonight. The champions of the college football world, the Alabama Crimson Tide. Until we gather again a year from now in South Florida for the Discover BCS National Championship. So long, everybody.